Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Padlet assignment. The topic of our Padlet is that third through fifth grade students will read, write, and create using online resources. This goes along with AASL Standard 5A1, which says that learners develop and satisfy personal curiosity by reading widely and deeply in multiple formats and write and create for a variety of purposes. So, we're going to be using some online resources to do exactly that. One of the questions I want you to keep in mind as we go through this Padlet is which online resource satisfies your personal curiosity? And I would also like for you to explain your answer. So, diving in to our Padlet, we have a couple of different categories here. The first one we're going to look at here is the reading column. So, there are a bunch of different resources here that will give you access to ebooks and online read alouds. So, let's take a look at some of these resources. The first one we have is Flyleaf Publishing. Now, Flyleaf is pretty cool because normally this is a site that the school would have to purchase a subscription for, but because of the pandemic, free use has been extended all the way through the 2021-2022 school year. And it's a really great resource for ebooks. And so all you have to do is after you click on that link, scroll on down, and then you will be given a whole bunch of different leveled readers that you can choose from. Now, since you're in either a third, fourth, or fifth grade student, you might not want to start here at the Emergent Reader series. You're probably going to want to scroll a little bit further on down to maybe parts 3, part 4, part 5, or even part 6. But of course, I want you to pick something that looks interesting to you. But once you find a story that you are wanting to take a closer look at, you'll just simply click it, like this one here, Gold Talk. And it'll show you that this is the cover page. And all you'll do is just use the left and right arrows to scroll through your book. You can also double click to zoom in and take a closer look. Now that one was pretty short. It was a poem, but there are many other books in here with many more pages. So have fun exploring that site. So that's one of the resources that we can use. Now, as we continue down our reading category here, the next resource you'll see is Storyline Online. Now, we can read books for ourselves, but also another fun way to satisfy that personal curiosity and develop our reading skills is by listening to read alouds. And so at Storyline Online, you can actually go and listen to celebrities reading aloud some of your favorite children's books. So you can go through, you can search for a particular book, or just scroll through and see what books are available. One of my personal favorites is here, The Rainbow Fish. And this is read by actor Ernest Borgnine. So you can go through and have some of your favorite celebrities read you some of your favorite children's books. Another way that we can access ebooks is through this site here, Project Gutenberg. So we click on the link. Of course, you can always do a quick search. You can sort alphabetically or even by release date if you know there's a certain story that maybe wasn't released too long ago. So you can search that way. But one of my favorite things to do is just go through and see what is available, what is featured here on the front page. Of course, there's about 25 pages of different stories that you can pick from. But once you find a story that you're interested in, like maybe we're interested here in the tale of Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. So it'll give you a whole bunch of different formats that you can use to read the story. Now you can use a Kindle, or if we're just using a regular laptop computer, so we can just click on this top link here, read this book online, HTML, and it will load the book for you. Instead of going page by page, you'll just scroll down to read the story. But everything you see here will be like what you would see in the physical books. Another way that we can get to more digital ebooks is through International Children's Digital Library. So you click on that, it'll bring you to the home page here, and you can choose to go by book list. They have books in all different languages as well. So maybe if English isn't your first language, or maybe you're just interested in seeing what a book in another language would be, you could do books by language. I like to do books by genre or even books by character. So I'm going to click on that. So you can click on imaginary creature characters or real animal characters. So you can find some that are fiction and nonfiction. Then you can go through and see, what sounds interesting to you? Stories from Hans Christian Andersen. I'll click on that with the Read with the ICDL Reader. And you'll see that it actually pulls up pages of the entire book. You can see how long the stories are. You can also kind of get a quick glimpse of how many illustrations there are. But of course, these pages are really small. So in order to actually see them up close, you'll have to click at the beginning. And then you can scroll through and use the left and right arrows to turn the pages of your digital book. Magic Keys is another way that you can access children's storybooks online. Let's take a quick look at this one. Now with this one, I will say be careful. There are a bunch of ads that are on this site over here to like the right side and all throughout. So just make sure that you're being really careful about where you click. If you accidentally click something you weren't supposed to, you can always back up or just X out of it and start over. But you can choose which storybooks you would like to read by your age groups. So you can choose young children, older children, or young adults. So once you click on that, so you can go and find a book that looks interesting to you. So they'll have the title of the book, the author, and a little synopsis of the story. So if I'm going through and I see, Invisible Alligators by Hayes Roberts, little Sarai discovers invisible alligators quietly sneaking around and creating trouble for her and everyone else. Well, that sounds interesting. I'm going to click on that book title. And voila, you have your book. Just simply click on that next arrow to go through the pages and read your story. Kind of similar to the Flyleaf Publishing. So those resources have a lot of great fiction options for you, but maybe your curiosity lies in discovering more about things that are happening in the world. So maybe you're looking for nonfiction or even kind of like research materials to answer some of those big questions that you might have. Well, as we come to this part of our Padlet, we see that we have nonfiction or research type resources for you. So we have our first one here, National Geographic Kids. Click on that, let it load. And then from here, so you can choose to, of course, watch videos to learn more about animals. Maybe there's certain animals that you want to learn more about, maybe birds or reptiles, or you can even go to the search bar here. Maybe I'm curious to learn more about, maybe about penguins. So I can even go and, they even have some popular searches here. So I'm going to type in penguins. And I have all of these great articles that pop up about all these different kinds of penguins. knew there were so many different kinds of penguins. There's even some fun things like penguins versus puffins. So I'm just going to go through and figure out, which kind of penguin do I want to learn about? Maybe I want to learn more about the emperor penguin. So there are pictures, there's videos, and there's lots of fun facts in this article all about penguins, particularly the emperor penguin. There's maps that show where they live and all kinds of information right there for you. So that's one site that you can go to if you want to learn about more nonfiction topics. Another place to go is Doggo Books. Now, this is a really fun site because the books that are featured on this site, so they are actually reviewed by kids. So, like right here. So this is this. Let me see if I can slow it down. So I can go back. There we go. So, for example, there was a student who decided to use the username Cool Guy. He rated Grumpy Monkey Freshly Squeezed 5 stars. He said, "This is one of the best books I've ever read. It's funny and interesting. You can really not stop reading this book till you're finished." Now, if you notice, that book is a fiction book. You can find a collection of fiction and nonfiction books in here. And also, one of the cool things is you can go to the freebies tab up here at the top. And you can actually enter to win physical copies of these books. So you, of course, would want a parent's permission before you sign up for anything where you might be, or you might have a chance to win or some kind of a contest. But you can also access these books by clicking on the title. You can choose to buy the book. You could borrow an ebook. And you can even take a look at the book down here. Just simply click to open. So you can also make these pages bigger so you can learn more about the awesome ocean. So that's Doggo Books, again, a collection of fiction and nonfiction. Kind of to go hand in hand with Doggo Books, there is Doggo News. These are kids' news articles. And this one is really neat how it is broken up. So you have current event articles. So if you want to know about things that are going on right now, so you can click on current events. There are science articles, social studies, civics, the world, and the environment. So just have some fun exploring some of the different topics, seeing what kind of articles there are. Oh, like this British sculptor's innovative underwater museum doubles as a marine ecosystem. So there's like an underwater museum. How neat is that? They can choose to read the news articles. Now, it does say that you could do the 4-minute listen here. However, if you want to do the listening, so you would have to actually sign up for a subscription. But you know what? Our computers are equipped with all kinds of nifty tools. So you can use the read and write for Google Chrome, highlight the words that you want read, and then the Google Chrome read and write can do all of that for you. So you don't actually have to sign up for a subscription. Let's give it a try here.
British sculptor Jason Taylor has made it his mission to use his talent to conserve our ecosystems by creating underwater museums. Over the years, the environmentalist has submerged over 850 massive artworks in numerous site-specific sculpture parks worldwide. On February 1st, 2021, Taylor unveiled his latest
So how neat is that our computers can already come equipped with some of those tools, so we don't even have to sign up for a subscription to anything. Time for Kids is another great place you can go to find some really neat articles. And you can actually filter the articles by your grade level. So we are third, fourth, and fifth grade students. So if you're a third or fourth grade student, you can just click on that 3 through 4 button. If you're a fifth grade student, you can stay on that fifth through sixth tab. But you can go through and scroll through and see what kinds of news articles there are. So you can look and see what there is available, or if you have a specific topic in mind, of course, you can use the search bar there. And one final one here under the reading column, specific to nonfiction, is Kids Discover. So this is going to link you directly to the quick reads. So you can go through and take a look and see, what would I be interested in learning more about? Or maybe you're inspired by something like this tween who invents a Braille printer using Lego bricks. So Braille is the type of typing tool or typing system, reading system, writing system that people who are blind use. So that way they can read stories too. So we can read all about this tween who created this Braille printer. How inspiring. So those are all of the different resources that we have available here in the reading column to help satisfy your curiosity. But there are some additional ways to grow your e-library, your ebook library. So having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. Of course, you've got a library card to your school library, but did you know that the Houston Library will give a library card to anyone who lives in the state of Texas? If your parents sign you up, you will be emailed a library card, which you can use to add into the Sora app, which is another great spot that you can use to download ebooks. And whenever you add in your Houston library card into the Sora app, you can expand the amount of titles available by over 10,000. Over 10,000 books, all for free. How cool is that? Of course, you would want your parents' help with that one because your parents would have to submit some information to help get your link card. But if you wanted to go ahead and kind of check out the Houston Public Library page, so there's information here about how to get that link card with your parents' help, but you can also click on Kids. And over here to the right, so we have a lot of great tabs that you can click on. So like if you want to get homework help or request an activity box, they send out activity boxes. Of course, you want to talk to your parents about that first. You can, after you get your digital library card, you can browse the catalogs and search different programs, but you can also watch story times now. So kind of similar to Storyline Online, where celebrities were reading some of your favorite children's books. The Houston Public Library has done something similar. So they have their librarians there who have different story times. So doing different sign language, doing picture books. So you can go through and access any of those read alouds there. So another way that you can grow your ebook library is through Barnes & Noble. So if you are using a Nook at school or even at home, so there are a bunch of free kids ebooks that you can access with that device. So there are 5,357 results available for free kids ebooks. So you can go through and you can scroll through, see what looks interesting to you, download them all for free. And that is another great way to grow your ebook library. Similar to that, Amazon also has a program where you can download free ebooks called Free Booksy. So you would need a Kindle or some other kind of e-reader that is compatible with the different formats these books are available in. So like this one's available on Kindle and it's free on July 10th. There's Kindle. But you can go through and download books onto your Kindle as well. So those are some other resources. Again, so those might be ones that maybe you would want to use at home, unless maybe you're using a Kindle or a Nook device in your classroom, which is very possible. So those are some other nifty ways to grow your ebook library. So with that, let's move on to our final column. So we've talked a lot about different reading resources we can access online, but we also want to write and create for a variety of purposes. Well, one of the skills that is going to come in really handy, especially as we're working more and more on the computers, is our typing skills. Because if you notice, our keys on our keyboards don't go in ABC order. No, they're kind of scattered all over the place. And so one of the ways that we can help strengthen our typing skills is by doing typing lessons. So the first one we have here is Dance Mat Typing. And with this one, you can start at level 1. It shows you kind of how the keyboard is broken down into the home row. There's different stages where you usually like just your left hand, just your right hand, how you move your fingers to hit the buttons in between. So there are several different stages where you can go through and learn about the proper placement of your fingers on the keys. There's different games you can play. And as you go through each of these levels, so you'll become more and more familiar with where each of these letters are. So that way you're not having to stare at the keyboard all the time while you type, and you'll be able to type much quicker. To go along with that, we also have another typing resource here. It's called Kids Type. So this one might be one that I would recommend maybe doing after you have spent some time with the lessons for the previous site that we were on, because a lot of these are going to be more just game oriented. Again, with this site, I would be careful. If you notice, there are a bunch of different ads and things up here to the side and up along the top. So make sure we try and just click over here where it says typing games for kids. If you do accidentally type on the advertisement, that is okay. You can always X out or back up. But there are lots of different typing games here. So you can choose which one of your games that you would like to play to continue strengthening your typing skills. You can also look and see how liked these tools are. So like this typing balloon one, so it has 8,783 thumbs up. That one's pretty popular. They can click on any of those and they will be other fun interactive games that you can use to help you with your typing skills. So that's to help you with writing and also to create. So there are a lot of neat programs out there that you can use to create your own stories. So Storyboard That is a digital storytelling site that you can use. So you could sign up to do a login. There are other levels that you can purchase, but we can just do a storyboard for free. So we'll just scroll down, create a storyboard. And then this is fun. So you can actually build an entire scene. You can decide, oh, where does my story take place? I could click from a home decor. Maybe I'm at a school. I'll just go through, I'll find the pictures that I like best to build my background. I can go and I can add in my characters. So I can change hair color, skin color, eye color, shirt and pant color. I can do textables, so the word bubbles to make my characters talk, different shapes, and I could build kind of like a comic strip if you wanted to look at it that way, but you can build your own storyboard. You can add scenes, as many as you like as well. So that is another way that we can create. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave. And then another fun interactive way to create online is Padlets. So with Padlets, you can choose a picture, and then the pictures will give you a list of all these different words that are inspired by this picture. And you can start dragging words over to create your own story, or maybe you want to use something to label, like, oh, maybe I want to create a Padlet with this frog. Well, one of the things about nonfiction reading and writing is we want to make sure that we have labels for everything. So I can go through and look at all these words that are inspired by this picture. Let's see. Oh, maybe I want to label the frog's leg, its skin, its eye. I could do that, or I could even use these words and drag them to make a little story about this frog. And then the final resource on here is works.com. Now, writing on the computer isn't, of course, the only way to write. It's a very interactive and it's a fun, exciting new way to write. But let's say, oh, maybe I want to just work on my regular handwriting with paper and pencil. Well, guess what? So we have this resource here that can help you with that as well. There we go. So maybe as third, fourth, and fifth graders, you're working on improving your cursive handwriting. So you can make your own handwriting worksheets. So you can choose to do just print handwriting, pre-cursive, or cursive handwriting practice. And you can decide, how high you want the lines to go, what the letters to look like, the spacing, if you want no spacing or if you want a gap in between, if you want to follow the lines. But then you can go down here to the text box and you can type in what it is that you would like to practice. Maybe I want to practice writing internet resources can help me be a better writer. You can type it up to 50,000 characters. Go down here to create worksheet. It'll make a PDF. And then voila, you have what you typed out written here in cursive. You can then go and choose to print it out and actually have handwriting pages that you can use to help strengthen just your paper and pencil handwriting skills. So those are all the resources that are available on our Padlet. I want you to go and spend some time exploring each and every one of those. And I want you to be thinking about that discussion question. Which online resource satisfies your personal curiosity? And don't forget to explain your reason.